As your transformation expands across your company, all of a sudden you have the responsibility of managing a portfolio of projects and products, and that can take a lot of work. In our next session, Alberto Dominguez shows us how Sperta Consulting uses GitLab's Epics to minimize all that work so you can actually focus on creating value. Let's see.
Welcome to this presentation about Lean Portfolio Management. I'm Alberto Dominguez, and I'm quite happy to have you here on this presentation. Hope you like it. I have been working on IT projects for the last 20 years. I have been working on software development and mainly most of the time with some social and volunteering projects. I have been working as an agile transformation consultant, and I have been coding. I have been working as an architect for teams, tech lead, coder. I really enjoy to code, but for terms of the work, I have been assigned to more management and leading positions. I really enjoy the technical details of the stuff, and based on that experience and that career, I have this kind of mix of coder, teacher, and consultant. So hope you like what we see here on Lean Portfolio Management through GitLab Epics. So I will try to share some of the learns that we have had in the past, applying GitLab to some specific kind of things. So hope you like it. Welcome. Okay, before we start, we need to discuss what means Lean Portfolio Management, and to do that, we need to split that term in two. We have portfolio management and Lean Portfolio Management. And portfolio management is the way the organization, the strategic level of a company has to connect his vision or its vision to the operational level, right? So we have these people at the C-level thinking or where the company has to go, and then they decide the initiatives or the projects they want to run to accomplish those goals. And that's what we call portfolio management. Because we have like a goal, a destination, and we need to convert that into tactics, into decisions, into small tasks and actions that we can run to at the end of the year or the period we decide to get there. So that's what we call portfolio management, when you manage your priorities. And the other word is Lean Portfolio Management, which means applying the Lean principles to make things really lean, to reduce what we call in Lean the waste, to be more productive. So why we need it? So to explain why we need it, I want to talk about the Gluten Syndrome. Is something I kind of create as this kind of concept, which is when companies try to do more of what they can do, right? They try to include more products, and why we call it the Gluten Syndrome is because it's simple. Is when let's imagine you are the richest person in the world and you get to a restaurant, and when you get to that restaurant, it's your favorite restaurant. You see all the plates and you cannot decide which one to pick, and you say, okay, I have the money to pay for all of them, and you pay for all of them. It doesn't make any sense, right? It's like, okay, you have the money, but it's obvious that you can eat them all at the same time. It's better if you can decide for two and try to make your best to eat both, or just decide for one and wait for the next period, the next date for the next. So you have to prioritize, and not only because of the money, it's also because of your capacity to do it. And when we talk about IT projects in particular, we don't have the people all the time to run the projects. You have, we in the world, everybody in the world, we have this shortage of people. So we cannot just say, okay, I have the money, I can run it. So that's why I call the Gluten Syndrome. It's really common to see companies running 100 projects at the same time, and the IT areas and the IT teams just trying to make it work through the year. And obviously, it's something that we don't like in Lean because it's a lot of work in progress. So basically, LPM will give us an idea on how to focus on the important as a team, as a company, in our portfolio. It will work on maximize the flow and the throughput as a way to optimize the productivity. It tries to keep the tactical decisions aligned with the goals. So when you have to take decisions day by day, you can easily link your decisions to this to the goals you are following. And the idea behind of this is stop trying to predict the future. You should be working on planning and adapting your plan every day or every certain time, like time box, like quarter and say if we call those the program increments. But you can decide your quarters or every 6 months or every month depending on your company. But the idea is you take the time to decide if you have to adjust your plan, right? So behind this, the idea is keep your priorities, understand that you cannot run everything at the same time. Even if you have the money, it's not a good idea to try to do everything at the same time or in parallel, and try to keep your decisions aligned with your goals. So the urgent doesn't eat all the time the important things. So how we do it through Epics? How GitLab can support you to work on that? It's 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 simple. The idea behind of this is not to work on projects. It's not to work on time frames of the projects. It's to work on something bigger that is called a system for value delivery or business value delivery. And the idea is that you create the teams that will support those work requests and those business needs, and then you make them flow through those teams instead of creating project teams. The idea behind project teams is really painful for the companies that doesn't work in that way all the time. But for example, if you have an IT area or organization within the organization which is not IT related, probably you have projects, but all those projects come to the same people. So you don't create a system for value delivery. You are trying to accomplish the project teams, and you will have people assigned on multiple projects at the same time, jumping within meetings and trying to understand the projects within the meeting. So that's basically the biggest challenge behind it. We have a lot of thinking movements that try to decide if we should go on the type project type of organization, or if we should go on a more efficient way where you cannot create project teams. So if that's your case, which is for me most of the cases of my clients and the teams I work for, what we try to do is to set the teams and make those teams aligned to the products and the technologies we work with, and then avoid the project assignments, right? And think all the time that DevOps is not just software and hardware, it's also people, and the most important thing is the people. And secondly, DevOps is not just a trendy word. You have to invest to make it work. You have to think as a team. There are no areas, there is no business and technology. It is a team that tries to deliver value. So that's why we talk about value delivery system. And the good thing is that it's not easy at all, but the idea at the end is that we all work together to get the things done. We don't think about projects, we think about teams. And by teams, we work on assigning goals to the teams instead of tasks or projects or specific things. It probably makes sense to you if you are already working on something called value streams on enterprise architecture, when you think about the teams as a group of people that delivers a whole set of value for a process or a business or a segment on your company. So how we accomplish that on Jira? First, you have to work on the organization structure. You have your groups and your subgroups, and probably what we do there is to create value streams as subgroups of the organization. You can go deeper, of course, but for the example, we will try to keep simple, and we avoid the projects. We will not see groups as projects here. At the level 0 in this example, we will have the organization, and at the level 1, we will have these teams and value streams. You can have multiple value streams. You are using solutions, bigger solutions, or managing bigger solutions. And at the level 3, you can have products. For example, I switch level 2 because you can have multiple teams or different parts of the team. Once you have the structure really organized, you go to the team match with products. And the idea is that you have some products or technologies or architectures on the technical side that could be managed by the same people. So you try to align those people to those products. And the idea is to keep all the requirements flowing through those products. So at that point, you have the teams and the products. And then last, you create the epics at the organizational group level in terms of GitLab. So you create the epics there, your strategy, your business requirements, what we create with the business cases. And at that level, you will have the strategy, and then you split those epics into features or capabilities if you have multi-level epics, or just epics and stories, and you jump from the stories to the teams. And the stories are aligned to the epic, but assigned to the team. And that kind of mix is done by management, by splitting the things with the product owner. So you don't delegate that to the team, the priorities and how to organize the work. And that's really, really good because you have this kind of simplicity. So as a team member, you only see meetings for your team, you will only see tasks for your team, and you really don't take care of the projects and the meetings of the projects or the alignment of the projects, because that happens on the top. So you only see the goals of your team in terms of the value stream and the products. The missing feature in GitLab, and I know the team is working, I have been working with or have some meetings with the team behind the reporting and the lean portfolio management capabilities on GitLab, is the reporting, because we have some metrics. And these metrics are more related to the strategic level and probably less to the iteration, but we can have it for all the levels. And basically you will have to, you look for a strategy that is more stable than the iteration. But obviously what happens through the years could impact more than what happens within the iteration. So you will have velocity, how much points you can deliver, and how are good delivering those plans. The stability is how it vibrates or changes through the iteration, which we expect to be really, really small. How the business as usual impacts the iteration, the quarter, and the year. And through the year, we expect less stability and more changes because we want adaptability. The effectiveness is not something everybody do. If you have DevOps, probably you don't have to measure this, but the idea behind effectiveness is how good you are delivering things that go to production. Sometimes most of the teams keep those in pre-production environment or staging environments, and they lose effectiveness because you are producing things that you don't deliver. And the defect density, which is quality, is related to the amount of defects. At the end, the challenges ahead. Okay, growing a plan will make you form it. It means that the pilots on Agile are not a good idea if you are trying to do lean portfolio management. You need to think on all your teams and all the people assigned to the delivery of this value. If you start with pilots, probably you will then have problems trying to integrate everything and make everything work. So you should think big at the beginning. If you don't implement from the beginning, you have to have a big plan. Try to keep agile delivery not only as a tactical, because it's like a small engine that delivers stuff, but you should start thinking on how to take business owners to connect with that engine, so you can deliver actual value. And the real-time information is a double-edged sword. It means that if you are good delivering, business will obviously take advantage of that. But if you have some technical debt, or you are not really good delivering value, and you have quality issues because of your vendors, or if you have some kind of outsource model, probably this will make it more transparent, and you will have some struggles with that. So take that into account, because those are the challenges. The good idea is that lean portfolio management is quite simple. And the idea behind lean portfolio management is to connect an agile engine with the strategy, so you can take from the strategy point of view some advantage on that engine. Thank you so much for taking the time to see this presentation. Hope you like it. I'm Alberto Dominguez and hope we can connect in the future.